everybody. If I'm here, I'm talking, so.
Alright, I believe we are not live yet, but soon enough. I usually wait for the countdown thing to go, just to make
Bloop,
sure.
bloop, bloop, bloop,
Yep.
bloop.
4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I believe that we are live now.
Hey guys, this is the Riders of the Lost Sword podcast. This week we're taking a break from the long form Toku series. We'll get into Bokenger next week, but this week we're going to look at a Kamen Rider movie. It is basically a retelling of Kamen Rider number one's story. It's Kamen Rider, I can't talk. Kamen Rider the First.
Yeah.
This is Isamu.
No,
It's
son.
Andy.
And Frozen
Knew that was going to
Traveler.
happen eventually.
I was surprised it hadn't happened yet.
Me too.
To be honest with you.
Yeah, what was this? Number 15?
It took us a while to screw that one up, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, Kamen Rider the First. I really did like this. This is probably the closest I'm ever going to see to the original Kamen Riders in action, because finding footage for finding the original episodes is a pain in the ass.
And finding them where they don't look like utter shit is even harder.
Yeah. So
Because
this is
that's the
probably as close
big
as I'm going
problem
to get.
old Toku is. You get terrible VHS over VHS recordings. And I'm a stickler for things looking clear, so I hate it.
I'll deal with that.
But,
Yeah, it was. I don't know. It was really, really boring me, to be honest.
the movie,
Yeah.
there are parts of it that are boring as shit.
I got bored with the. It sounds bad. I got bored with the story aspect of it, but I really enjoyed the fight scenes. I enjoyed the kind of pseudo updating they did to the suits, where they look the same, but they obviously look newer. But I like the throwback to the shocker troops and the monsters, and that kept my attention.
The worst part of this movie, and the part that bores the shit out of everyone, is the forced subplots that are boring as piss. Like if they
Yeah.
talk to Takashi Hongo, and I always forget the second writer's name.
I got it right here.
It has a H in it. Haku something.
Okay, he's got two names because of brainwash happens. Katsuyo Yano slash Ichimonji.
Ichimonji. Yeah, if they just would have stuck to their story, the movie would have been a lot better. But no, they had to focus on the subplot of it's the scorpion and the bat Kajin? Or is that the spider? I don't know, and I watched it 2 hours ago. It's mind-numbingly boring.
They both kind of have the same costume, really. It's like
Yeah.
male variant, female variant.
Like, I love the updated suits. It's just that is the biggest bad thing about the movie is that subplot is so boring that it makes you ignore parts of the movie. Because them going and fighting the shocker troops and dealing with that shit, that's kind of fucking cool. But it's this and all the scenes in the hospital of them growing together and planting the flowers. I'm like, motherfucker, I want to see you punch someone.
Where's the action scenes? I
And
bought money for I bought money. I bought tickets to see people punching and kicking and stuff, and that only happens like 3 times throughout this entire movie. I don't want to see all this dramatic bullshit that you're throwing into my face.
Well,
yeah, there's 3 or 4 big action scenes and a few small ones. And to their credit, the action scenes look amazing. Like,
Well,
they do callbacks to their henshin poses, even though they don't have a henshin sequence, really. It's just belt, helmet.
yeah. It just felt like a lot of it, and I could be wrong on it. It felt like they were assuming you already knew it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of why, like, if you're going into it not having either seen or read that story arc, then a lot of it is like what you were saying, just get past it, I don't care. But if you had already maybe seen it in the story where it was fleshed out much better, where you have it more episodic, and it's a little bit over a longer period, maybe that's it. But what if and so when you're seeing it again, you're like, oh yeah, I remember that in the first one. It's kind of cool to see that again. That's more what I was thinking with it, where like, but like just putting it all in one movie where you're like, no, I don't care. Where maybe in the I forget how many episodes this covers from the original show.
I believe 13.
Yeah, you would have had 13 action sequences because you're going to have one every episode.
More like 26, because they at least have 2 action scenes.
Right.
Transformed and untransformed.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just noticed that. We don't see a lot of untransformed combat in this movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's very, very little. But you do get a nice shot of Takeshi with his helmet off, which you don't see that much in Kamen Rider.
I
It's
do
as much
love
as like
what they
Super
did with the
Sentai.
helmet, where
Yeah.
they put them all in 2 pieces.
Yeah.
What other writer did that? Because I feel like they did. I'm thinking X for some reason.
I don't know much Showa stuff.
Yeah, he would have the helmet in like 2 pieces of his hands, and then one would go onto his face, the other one would go on, and then just a little clip up.
I know what you're talking about
I
because
thought that
I
was
saw it in
Sentai.
No,
I saw it in a clip, and all I can think of is Amazon. It's not Amazon,
no,
but it's right around there. It might be X.
no. Amazon was like, I'm just gonna hit my chest a few times, then
Yeah.
werewolf out.
Hmm.
And then, of course, there's differences, as we've all known. Like, Ichigo, he's not green. He's blue.
Which I like the color change. I just think the blue looks better on the suit with all the other parts.
Yeah.
And I like the bigger difference between him and Nigo in this. It's not just, oh, I have a different color ascot and different color gloves.
Or a helmet.
Yeah.
Because Ichimonji's helmet would change from black or green sometimes. He went with the green one this time. Some other differences from the movie and the TV show. Yeah, I think Isamu pointed this out that they don't really do their transformation poses.
They do them, it's just not for transformation. They do
Yeah.
them at the beginning of the final fight. Like, they just put the belt on, turn around, all the armor's on,
Or-
and they really do a few kicks,
Or it's
and then they
more-
attach the helmet.
It's more like reveal the belt.
Yeah.
Because the belt is actually a part of them. It's an activation thing. And in the TV show, Hongo had to actually get it going. Like, he had to get a wind current into it. While
Mhm.
Nago just kind of just went, and he's there. That's how it went in the TV show. In the movie, it's just, yeah, let's just go.
One thing I do like about the movie that I don't think a lot of other Kamen Riders even do a lot, ride their fucking bike. Like,
Right.
this movie has a lot of motorcycle stuff in it, which is a nice change from especially recent riders where you'll see them riding their bike in a few episodes, but not often. Like, they even do some bike combat and, like, ride it into the group of enemies, jump kick off of it, and then it looks fucking cool.
And you
That was
somehow
pretty
get
cool.
back on it.
Like, you can do that in the Battle Ride games, but that
Mm,
so rarely happens in
no.
the actual series.
because bike physics. I mean, no, never mind.
Yeah, you're right. The bike physics.
Well, no, it just made me think of Spider-Man from Civil War. Where he goes, "That thing doesn't obey any of the laws of physics, does it?" And that's about what I was thinking when I was watching it. Was just that.
Hey, at least he didn't throw. He didn't throw the bike at the guy.
That would have been funny.
At least it's not like in the movie Torque, where they would ride at each other on bikes, pivot them on their back wheels, and have what looks like a sword fight with their wheels.
Or no, wait, that was The Simpsons where they picked up the bikes and were sword fighting with the bikes in the Circle of Death. Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
Oh,
that's a Simpsons episode with the biker gang that get
I
essentially
hate that
kidnapped Marge.
episode.
I love that episode. Just in the Circle of Death. Oh, I just cleaned the Circle of Death.
And it even had John Goodman in it.
Right. You didn't like that episode?
No, that's honestly one of my bottom episodes for The Simpsons.
Because I love where they were like, "Oh, you have anything else that says that? Well, you have to eat that too." Then he pulls out another shirt and goes, "Oh man, now you got to eat that as well."
I did that gag was kind of funny, and they do finish it up at the end of the episode. He's riding off with Marge, and he just kind of pulls over back to that bar. I've got to take care of some business, and the episode ends.
Yeah, that was bro. Go 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 go. Okay. Yeah.
Circles.
Picking up. They were picking up
Many circles.
circles.
Wide circles.
Giant circles.
I think
amazing.
this movie does something that a lot of series need to take note of. They did a quote-unquote gritty reboot, but it wasn't grim and dark.
Like Amazon's.
Well, Amazon's pretty dark, but they do it decently. Like
Every American movie franchise.
I was about to bring up the Power/Rangers thing. That's comically gritty and dark.
I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that. I won't get angry and off on a rant. I won't get off on a rant on that.
So you have a podcast to watch it and talk about it?
No. That's okay. I'm almost to the point right now where I'm refusing to believe that movie actually exists.
No, I'm not talking about the Lionsgate movie. I'm talking about the fan-made Power/Ranger.
Oh, that was made as a. You do realize that was a parody, right?
No, I completely realized it was a parody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's why it doesn't bother me. I forgot that. I forgot that wasn't the name of the Lionsgate film, which I refuse to get off on a rant.
I really like the way Alpha's gonna look in that new movie.
Shut up!
Like, don't you love the eye stalks and the beer belly?
Mm-hmm. It really makes him look like an alien robot.
Urge to kill rising. Urge to kill rising. Urge to kill rising.
I'm just waiting to see just full-on Bryan Cranston in the fucking tube. Not a head or anything. He's just in the tube.
Yeah, that's about how it's gonna work.
You know it is.
Goose Fraba. Goose Fraba.
So,
Goose Rhoda.
No, Goose Fraba. You never saw Anger Management? That was the Goose Fraba. Yeah.
I haven't seen that, to be honest.
Have a full podcast about that. The trailer or something one day.
yeah.
Because apparently Power Rangers is now Chronicle.
Yes, Chronicle, Breakfast Club,
Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Oh, sorry, Iron
He has a
Legion.
drinking problem. We shouldn't let him near the morphing grid.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The morphing grid will actually be a physical thing in that movie, I guarantee it.
Well, although I do have to say, in all fairness, in the creation of Power Rangers, the morphing grid is the most confusing concept ever.
I know, they gave like 50 different explanations as to what it actually was.
I mean, and honestly, Sentai in general also doesn't explain why, well, a lot of times, where these specific powers come from and why specifically hitting someone hard enough knocks them out of it but doesn't stop them from transforming right back. It's just one of those beautiful logics of Sentai you just accept.
I figured it was like, if you kick your computer really hard, it will turn off, but you can turn it right back on, it'll boot up.
Yeah, but it's
I
funny because
don't
there's no need to cool down or wait. You can just like morph right back up again.
I don't know about that. Last time I punched my computer, it didn't turn back on.
I don't know. I've been pretty lucky in the past.
I used to have a one year I bought some wrapping paper and then I ended up not buying any gifts from anyone because I ran out of money. It's a longer story than that. But anyways, that wrapping paper became my designated beat on my computer stick because it was never hard enough to actually damage my computer. Yeah.
I really need to invest in a punching bag.
College was a weird time.
I need to invest in wrapping paper because I so want to sneak into my roommate's room in the middle of the night or the middle of the day when they're not here and just wrap everything, every single individual item.
Mm-hmm. So, the actors in Kamen Rider the First, would you say that they did a good job?
The writer actors, I think, did really good jobs updating the characters.
Yeah. A little bit of facts for some of these guys. Masaya Kitakawa. Yeah, his most prominent role has been this movie and the next movie. But he also appeared in some other stuff too, like he showed up in a cameo of Kamen Rider Kabuto.
We
Episode
do
14.
need to watch next then if we watched this, because I think the next is much better.
Yes, it
they,
is.
They listened to what went wrong with this. There's still some stupid subplots, but they're not nearly as dumb or waste of time.
And then we got Hisei Takano, aka Kamen Rider 2 here. He's played as Miyuki Tezuka in Kamen Rider Ryuki. He was I forget the name again. Kamen Rider Raya, the Stingray rider, and also Ultraman Gaia. Yeah, that's about it.
I know when we get to the next, that guy was Drake from Kabuto.
Yeah, V3.
Which I think he does much better as V3 than Drake, but I'm not a fan of Drake, personally. He doesn't do anything.
Yeah, like all the other guys.
Well, no, he does even less than they do.
Oh, right. Because I believe Scorpion, Sword.
All Sword's fucking awesome.
He's the comedy guy of it.
He's pretty funny, but he's also my favorite design from Kabuto.
Right.
Cat.
Oh, man, what else to say about this movie? I'm trying to think here. The way that they introduced Shocker in this was kind of weird. It's like, hey, man, you've been invited to be modified to be a superhuman. How lucky are you?
Well, I don't know. They had a whole bunch of text before that, which I didn't realize I was supposed to read.
Yeah, I like how they made Shocker seem a lot more like a terrorist organization than just a bunch of weirdos in suits.
Yeah. And I didn't know till now, or this is probably just a movie thing, but Shocker is an acronym.
Yeah, it's always been. I just don't think anyone cares what it stands for.
What does it stand for?
Okay, I got it right here. Sacred Hegemony? Hegemony of Cycle Kindred Evolution Realm.
Yeah, Shocker. They just need to go with Shocker.
So Shocker is its name then. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At least Shields makes sense.
Yeah.
Grammatically speaking.
Yeah, I guess.
More than
Strategic
that
Homeland
thing.
Intelligence Enforcement Logistics Division. Yeah, I guess a little bit.
I mean, that makes more grammatic sense than all that stuff to make Shocker.
Sacred Hegemony of Cycle Kindred Evolutional Realm.
Well, let's just put it this way: if you had to come up with homonymy, I'm like, okay. Well, no.
What's that word even mean?
Yeah, well, if I have to go to a dictionary to figure out the words of your acronym, then you're trying to make that acronym too hard.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. I know a hegemony is a type of government, but I don't know what specific type.
Right. I'm sure I've heard the word before. It's just funny as I'm like, you're clearly trying to make it that word way too hard.
Yeah, you just kind of, it's like they threw a dart, hit that word. Well, we've got to use that word now.
Or they really liked it.
One of those word-a-day calendars or something.
Or maybe they just really they were using the word for so long and they were like, okay, well, what is it? I was, oh, yeah, you didn't know it's an acronym? And then they were like, no, I didn't know that. And then the guy was like, okay, shit, I got to make an acronym. It's
I
just,
can see that happening.
and he was like looking through his like I know it was older, so they probably wouldn't have a smartphone. But in my mind, he's looking through a smartphone. Yeah, it means
Siri, what does a Gimini mean?
Yeah, and remember, this is part one of a what was it, 8-part group to revive an evil god or something.
I just like how the one guy looked like Dracula the whole time. Every time I saw him, I was like, I
The leader.
Yeah,
yeah. Every time I
Grand.
saw him, I want him to go like blah blah or something like that. I
He
don't know.
did look like Christopher Lee's Dracula. I mean, there was a very striking similarity.
Yeah, I believe his name is Great Leader.
Great looter?
Leader.
A leader. I thought you said, well, I mean, they're evil, so I figured they stole shit. Great looter. Okay. Wouldn't be the craziest thing I've ever heard in a Japanese toku show.
Wait a second.
Oh, I did. Sorry for my poor accent. It's stuck.
No, it's not your accent. It's just now I can think of nothing but it being the Great Looter. So that's their.
The great looter.
Maybe
Who's my
he's really good at getting those items.
Of course, I think
item gets? No, that's X8. Never mind.
but then again, that's probably the wrong guy. There's also elderly gentlemen.
Do they get to be an evil League of Evil?
Most likely. Most likely.
Is this like probably after the fact where they were like, okay, so we had people in crazy costumes, yeah, but we never actually say. So it's I feel like a little bit this is kind of like, again, not to go way off topic, but again, it feels like after a Star Wars film where they like start telling you all these guys' names and that they really had these really long backstories that wasn't in the movie.
And of course, those 3 guys that you saw on the monitor, yeah, a great elderly guy was one of them. But the other one is called Lady, and of course the lady's called Lady, and the hipper guy was called Youth.
Okay, again, I think they said, what are the names of those? Who? That lady and youth. Yes, you're right.
But of course, in the next movie, they actually do have official names.
Well, I just mean in the writing room. That it's like one of those placeholder names in the script that they never change.
Yeah. And of course, the lady is supposed to be Chainsaw Lizard. The youth is
Lizard.
the youth's true identity is Scissors Jaguar.
Sounds like a Mega Man villain.
I was thinking the same thing. I was
Mega
like,
Man X. Mega Man
Yeah,
X did that kind of
and-
stuff.
Villain.
You mean a Maverick?
Yeah, Maverick
Yeah.
or Pseudoroid.
Or like a really bad wrestler name. That could work.
And of course, the elderly gentleman was Dr. Shimigami.
See, maybe
So
it's just
Dr.
that
Death. So
just
Dr.
the
Death
term-
God.
elderly gentleman just sounds like someone you'd meet in like a club. Like, this
club?
is our elderly gentleman.
Oh, club. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out what a fish club was. So I was hearing things too.
Yeah, he's just one of those guys that like, oh, so that's who he is. And of course, this keeps stuff and things. And of course, the other enemies have really generic names like Spider, Bat, Cobra, Snake.
So in all the things because I didn't really look much of the backstory of the movie itself. When did this movie come out?
2005.
05.
2005-ish?
It's 2005. I have the wiki right up in front of me. It says
Oh,
2005.
okay, so it wasn't like last year. Okay, I thought it was
No.
more recent than that. Okay.
No. And the next movie is 2007. Yeah.
I'm glad I found the right movie to watch.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
should have clarified that on you first. Okay, a little bit of backstory here. He put in Kamen Rider #1, and of course he got the Ghost movie. Like, oops, I forgot there's two of them
I
now.
just I thought it was like a really big crossover. I was like, shit, Ghost is in this. Who the fuck are these other people? And this looks really good for when it was supposed to come out, and I was very confused.
Yeah, and I think I kind of found out where the muscle-bound Ichigo powered-up thing came from. It's this movie. It would make a bit of sense, I think.
I would like them to do another one like this and like have their version of Ichigo great.
Yeah, I could probably see that. Probably throw in the have other writers show up in this kind of form, like Writer Man,
I was gonna say
Amazon.
like do the quote unquote legendary seven in this
Yes.
type of style.
Uh, Masked Rider, the Legendary Seven. As because it's like the first, the next. No, it should have been like the first, the next, and the upcoming four. That should be the movie title.
Uh,
Oh, is there really
I,
anything else to say about
well,
this?
it's still one of those things where this one and this one probably didn't have that same issue with me that some of other movies along these lines have. Like, okay, let me give you an example. This movie to me, I wonder if it feels to Kamen Rider fans or like ones who are fans of the original show or who know the original one, like the new Evangelions feel to me. It's kind of like one of those things where like, why are you just retelling the whole story again? And I don't know, maybe
In those
that's something that people really were clamoring for, but at the same stretch, it's one of those things where like, yeah, it was interesting and good, but why does it exist? You get my point on that one?
I agree, but in those Ava movies' defense, come the end of the second one, they're on their own fucking weird story.
Yeah, but it took two movies.
Agreed. They should have
And
started earlier.
And let's keep in mind that that's now the third time they've done that because Death and Rebirth of Evangelion was essentially most of the story and retelling, anyways.
Agree. Yes. I just love Ava, dumb Ava. I don't care what they do. I'll watch it.
Yeah, I am too. But it was just one of those same things where I'm like, why are we just remaking it? I would just love something new. And by the time it was something new, and then honestly, I've never seen the third one because,
The third one's fucking crazy.
yeah, that's what I keep hearing, and that's why I haven't seen it yet. They're like, oh, it's just crazy, you know. I mean, because the joke always was with me that End of Evangelion was a punishment movie, anyways. But honestly, that's the whole thought to me. It's like it's the same thing that comes to me with any time you remake something, and honestly, it happens. Maybe it's just I can't give you a ton of examples of this, but I feel like this is something that happens more in Japanese stuff, where they go and remake something that was in a TV show in a movie format without trying to where like it feels like in the US they do the opposite. They try to make the movie into a TV show.
And they have succeeded a few times. Well, I'm looking at you, Disney.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, look at what I was just watching. I was watching Westworld right before we started watching it. That's an old 70s movie that they made into a TV show.
Yeah. Um. Man, I had something before you went into your little tangent thing.
Sorry, yeah, I'm sorry.
Let me segue off to let you think. I just have a question.
No, I remember it now. I remember it now.
Oh, okay, go ahead. I'll
When
ask
you
later.
said why was this movie made? 30th anniversary
Hmm.
or 35th?
But couldn't you do something where instead of it's just a retelling or a remake of the story you already did, something that somehow crosses over them a little bit better than some other thing? I don't know. It's just random thoughts I have in my head. It's kind of like one of those things where like you can do a retelling really well, but at the end of the day, to me, it still feels like I will always look at even amazing retellings as of why did this need to be done.
I agree. Like, I think sometimes it's worth it when you have like a lot of redesign and updated visuals, but sometimes the old one holds it better. I think this works because it's condensing a series, but that's the same reason it doesn't work.
So what is better though? Condensing a series and doing it with new actors, or well, I'm going to rephrase that. Which is more of a movie sim? Doing this where you're essentially kind of recasting and refilming, or what Lionsgate is doing with it, where you're just I don't even want to know if you want to call it reimagining. Is a better way of putting it. Which one really is worse?
That's hard to tell.
I'd say reimagining can be worse than remaking. Because
Okay, so you would rather watch something remade in a new version, like I don't want to keep pounding on the new Power Rangers because that's the one coming out, because that's not a good example of one that was done correctly. But you would rather see that over where they remade Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho with new actors, but shot for shot did the same movie. It's the same thing to me. You're now either reshooting it or you're making your own thing. You can do this. You can make this argument on anything though. Covers of songs, anything. But I don't know. It's just my thought. And again, there's no harm in it, but it's one of those things where even if at the end of it you had to say like, well, why did you make this? Then maybe you shouldn't. Maybe did it really need to exist? I don't know. Okay, my rant's over.
well, there are some interesting points in there that you've made. But but here's what I think from a fan's point of view. I'd rather have a remake than a reimagining. Because in a reimagining, my brain's going to keep on telling me, that's not right. That's not how it goes. Fuck you. Well, in the remake, it's like, okay, this is actually doing pretty well. It's actually trying to hold up to what we've seen before. Yeah, I
I
like
think
that.
a slight blend of both is better. Like, I agree. It's hard to tell what's worse sometimes because either it's the same thing just done with a bigger budget and condensed, or it's the same setting but a new story or a different take on it. And sometimes remakes are done well, and sometimes reimaginings are done well, but they're also both equally done shit. And I
Yeah,
think it's more up to the writer and director of the individual work to show what, again, how successful it is.
yeah,
Like
I see that.
the one I'm thinking of is the Magnificent Seven. No, the 310 to Yuma remake that got done a good couple of years ago that my dad watched. It's the same movie, not done shot for shot, but the story beat is the same. The visuals are updated up until the very end, where I'm not going to spoil it. The train scene at the end is different, and that changes the movie substantially, but it's still the same experience. And I think it improves upon it, and that's what you have to go for when you're doing a remake: is can we improve upon this, and how?
Right, and it's also the same arguments you get when you do the whole let's make the animation live action movies that are proliferate are quite prolific right now.
Hmm.
I still don't know how to feel about them.
Yeah, I usually don't watch them. That's usually just my response.
Like, again, we're off topic, like always.
We
But
are
like
and aren't. We are and aren't. I mean, it's thematically honest to it this time, but
um the Tarzan remakes and the Jungle Book remakes and the fucking Maleficent. Maleficent kind's of in a weird spot because it's not exactly a remake. It's a live action movie that's connected to what is eventually going to be a remake, but
it's a
it
sidequel.
appeared in their remakes. But I thought it was terrible.
Oh, it was. It's a sidequel.
Sidequel.
Yeah, and that's the term I've used is that because it's not technically completely a prequel because it does include the events of the original movie. That I don't know if that's a true response to it. I've heard it called a sidequel.
Hmm. But yeah, I did not find that to be good in the slightest bit.
Well, I mean, it exists mostly because Disney can't make Wicked, but that's my opinion.
Well, you're not wrong.
So I guess this is everything that we could say about the movie.
Unless we want to go on a full movie remake tangent, which we are like 3/5 into.
I mean, so far, pretty much with my understanding, I've already seen this movie twice, and I've seen someone else review it. And I gotta say, this is a pretty good writer movie, and a pretty good retelling of the original story, even though it does not really match up with some stuff, especially with Nugo's story. Like in the original, he was a photographer, just got kidnapped and almost got brainwashed, but Ichigo came in, stopped. They said the shocker, stop that shit. But other than that, I still think it's pretty good.
I don't hate it. I don't know how quickly I want to go watch it again. I mean, it might be the same thing as when we did the Princess Jellyfish, where I want to see more, maybe more of the expanded story that a series could give to it, where maybe there's just too much information being squeezed into, what was it, 90 minutes for this one? That could be part of it too.
Hour and a half.
Yeah, 90 minutes. 95 minutes, whatever. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Hour and a half.
Andy, your thoughts?
I enjoyed it. I mean, I haven't seen the original Kamen Rider series, but I think this would be a good overview for somebody in my situation that hasn't seen it and is just getting into the fandom. Because I enjoyed quite a few things about the movie.
Samu?
I liked I liked parts of it, and other parts infuriated me to no fucking end. It's
Subplot.
one of those things that where I want to see it done better, but I don't want to watch it again.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't give it a second go.
Like this is the third time I've watched it because I've seen it before, but like I'd like to see them try again, like maybe do a Kamen Rider Skyrider type remake and take all the bad ideas from this and all the good ideas from this and the next and improve upon it even more with even more updated visuals. But then maybe it'd be better, maybe it wouldn't. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot that Skyrider was technically the first Ichigo remake.
Was it?
Yeah, in the title it said New Kamen Rider.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like he even had the same poses too.
Huh.
The only thing different was his sky ceiling. But anyway, this has been Riders of the Lost Zord's coverage on Kamen Rider the First, the movie. I'm Frozen Traveler.
Isamu?
No, son.
This is Andy.
And remember, if there is no God and no Buddha, there will always be Kamen Rider. Good night.
And an onion is just an onion.
You know, you thought you got away from that one, didn't you?
I knew
Never.
we would away from it.
Yep.
Oh,